But if you're ever like off social media for more than 2 days, which probably you guys aren't, but make sure that you do take breaks. That's my mistake early on. But you want to set someone aside that's really working, that's really working on their health goals. Say, hey, can you step up to the plate for 2 days? I'm going to be gone. Can you kind of, be in charge of the challenge group? Just respond to people, that encourager. Those are your next coaches. So you want to start doing that from the get-go, even if you're a week in. Like, really developing the leaders in your challengers. And I want to say, being a leader doesn't mean that they have to be the most outgoing person in your challenge group. That's not the case. I know for me, before I joined as a coach, I was that fly on the wall just watching everything in groups. I never participated, but I was getting so much value from it. So make sure you're reaching out to all your challengers, seeing where they're at. There could be someone that's really killing it, but is not posting a lot. Well, then you can encourage them to put themselves out there because they're seeing such great results. Those can be great coaches too. So that's the first thing. But once I don't want to talk about onboarding because we talked about that last time here, but once you get them, you're encouraging them, and even if you're bringing in coaches that haven't started a challenge group or haven't even tried Beachbody products or may in the past, once you bring them on and they join, you want to make sure that they feel supported, So there's a couple ways to go about this. A lot of people talk about their getting started right call, and that call would be the first thing that you would do with your coach, and you would talk about their goals and what they want. A lot of times, I have not done this, and I know and my success partner and I go back and forth about this. Like some months we try, and we're like, we're going to do a getting started right call right in the beginning, and most of the time we don't. We do it later on. And the reason why I feel like we have a training, a 21-day coach training, that you guys probably have on Facebook, right? We just converted to a website now, but we were doing it on Facebook my whole career as a coach. And the ones that were getting into it, and just starting, because it goes slow in the beginning, the ones that were involved, that would they would email us their whys and stuff. Well, because, let me back up, I'm sorry. We would first send them an email, a welcome to coaching email. This email just gives them a couple bullet points of what they need to do, like what their website is, right? I included a video of myself, and the video link is of me talking about different types of coaches. So I'm like, welcome to the team. And it's on YouTube. You can find it really easy. But I talk about, are you someone that just wants the discount? You just signed on as a coach to get the discount Shakeology because you love it. You just want to be involved in our challenge groups monthly. Or are you, there's three, or are you kind of interested in the business, but you don't really know much about it, right? It might be something you'd like to get into down the road. And then the third, obviously, is someone that really wants to go for it and is ready, that knows about it. Maybe he's been through a sneak peek group or has watched a webinar or has been on a call with you. So when they go through that and they're emailing you back their responses, and they're actually filling out a WooFoo form for me, which is it basically asks questions like your why, and it digs deep into that, and then we'll talk about it during our first phone call. But it talks about, I know we don't like to talk about money so much, but I need to know, do they want their initial investment, do they want to be able to afford Shakeology every month and get that initial investment back? So how much would you like to make in the first month or the first 3 months? What would be a good number for you, and how much time can you invest? So weekly, how much time can you invest? So I have this, and I can share with you that WooFoo form. I can post it in our Connecticut page so you guys can see it. It doesn't go into extreme detail because I don't want to overwhelm them at this point, right? Because it is overwhelming. But, so that is what I do. I add them to our page, and then I do a big introduction on our page. And then they get right into the new coach training. So I have this form, and I'll email them back, and I'll say, I look through the form, and I'll do a response to them about their why a little bit, just a little bit. But I definitely want to get you on a call the next couple weeks. But for now, I really want you to invest that hour a day that you said you had and really check into the 21-day coach training group, watch the videos, and comment. I want to see your name, I want to see you commenting. And I feel like the ones that are going to do it, you have to put out that expectation to them at first for the ones that want to build their business. Because your time is valuable. And there's been so many times that I've had calls and calls and calls with people that say they really want to do it, they really want to do it, they really want to do it, and then they never do anything. So that's your time, and I feel like I have 3 kids, and I can't waste time. I'm going to be there for you as a coach to a challenger, but I can't pick people up and do the work for them, right? So that call, I will say, okay, the first week we do a power of 3s, which is just basically like, it's a checklist of you are adding to your network. You are drinking your Shakeology. It's all of those vital behaviors, but it's also building relationships. I'd rather have them as a new coach not invite anyone, but build relationships with a lot of people. Start that ball rolling, because the invitation, and that's what they get scared of, the invitation comes natural in conversation if you are building a relationship. So that's what I'm like, they're like, what should I do, what should I do? I'm like, okay, listen, get into the new coach training, and we usually have videos put up there so they can go start quickly. So that's why we have the training website, so they can do it at their own pace. But I like the interaction on Facebook. I think you can see who's really going for it. So doing it that way. And then getting on a call with them. It could be a new coach Zoom call. I've done it with a small group of people before where they're in the new coach training. It's after a week, so they know kind of what to do, but they still have a lot of questions. So we can do a new coach Zoom call where I'm just talking them through the first week of what they learned, and then they're asking questions about the stuff, and we can get into more depth, and then we could talk about their whys individually, or I can do that on a one-to-one call. But if they're on that Zoom call, I know that they're in it, right? I know that they want to pursue this. So yes, I'm going to spend my time with those people and really invest in them and really talk to them and digging deep about their why. So that first month is that whole thing. And then usually like 2 weeks later, we'll get on another new coach Zoom call. And we talk about Emerald, and we talk about Success Club, because they learned about it, but they have tons of questions. Why is it important? What can it do? I give them my experience, my story with it. We talk it out. I think that's a huge part of it, because people get so scared of Emerald, and that's the first part of starting your business, right? And we all want to grow leaders, and the leaders come from those that are, hitting Emerald, and so on. But when and talking about personal development, and those are in those calls. So last year at Summit, I was listening to, I forgot who was speaking about it, but they talked about once you're Emerald, or you have a couple coaches that are business builders under you, you need to open up a team page. So I try to get my coaches to do the same. I'm a control freak, and it's really hard for me not to control all my leaders, or try to, but I let go a lot, and I feel like it's really important for them to lead their own teams and have their own calls, because you can't control everything. The whole point of this business as a leader is for you to develop leaders in your downline so they can go and lead their team. You're not leading everyone, because you're going to get burnt out, and I have to a point in the past year. Because of that, I thought I had to have control over everything, but let them go. And you know what? The ones that are going to do it are going to do it anyway. Like, you can't do it for everyone all the time. You have to let them be, and if they're going to sink, it's not because of you, So let them, and you know what? The leaders in their downline are actually probably going to reach out to you. I always there's some leaders that aren't doing much in my downline, and I reach out to their coaches, because you have to dig deep in your downlines to develop those leaders that come up, right? So make sure that you're doing that as well. So for the trainings, you have them, we all probably do the 21-day coach training. we revamped it, my success partner and I, and we're not on the same team. So like if you feel comfortable doing it with someone from a different team, why not? And you know what's really cool is that I'm really close with her coaches and she's close to mine, and we both have different personalities. So sometimes her coaches listen to me more, and you know, my coaches listen to her because they're probably sick of me talking. So, you know, the 21, it's cool to do it together with someone even from another team. And then after the 21-day new coach training, some people aren't Emerald yet, and that's okay. Some people work at their own pace, right? So we do like a 10-day to Emerald push group, and it's 10 days. We just incorporate things that we didn't incorporate in the new coach training. It just helps them kind of break down Emerald, what they can do. We talk about people on their list that they can help bring on, okay? And then the Emerald to Diamond training, we have one set up that people can go right into. But there are push groups that you guys can do as well. I feel like push groups, I feel like it's so much better, and this may not be for everyone, but I've done tons of push groups where they're huge, right? It's with my upline, and you know, sometimes it's with my success partner, and they just get really big, people get lost, no one's accountable, it's a big mess, right? But I feel like if you should be working with your small like PS coaches or small group to really dig deep into why they're doing this. Like we have one going on now, and it's smaller and it's nice because I know who's not, you know, who's not responding, who's not commenting. It's easier to handle, and I feel like we're getting more leaders. Doesn't know how loud she is. We're getting more leaders from that than we did the push group. But push groups are fun if you're offering prizes. A lot of people like that money prize. I don't know why, but I don't think it drives people to hit a goal. I think it might drive them to hit it sooner than they would have. But those that are going to do it are going to do it, right? And I keep saying that, but it's so true because I, in the beginning, was like pulling people. I was like, please just do this, why can't, you know? And you really need to know what their goals are and if it's feasible for them, if they're willing to sacrifice, right? Diamond doesn't come naturally. You need to sacrifice a little bit. It's not just going to appear. And they need to also know that diamond is not an end-all, right? So that's when your business just begins to grow. Okay, so after the calls and everything, I want to just break down with you what you guys should be doing with your businesses yourself. So you guys are all leaders. You're a leader in here because right from the get-go when you had your first challenger, right? Because you were leading them. So you need to focus on your business first. You can't, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't focus just on your team. Yes, your team is hugely important to you, but like so many leaders forget about their business and their power threes go out the window, or they're, you know, they stop inviting and they're like, oh, I'm just going to help my team do what I did. Well, you need to be that leader, and when they see you doing what they're like posting about and challenge groups, inviting people, bringing coaches on, they know you're doing that and they want to step up to be the leader like you are, right? So you need to make sure you're doing that. I probably spend, right now I'm doing probably like 50%, 50%, but when I hit diamond it was like 80% my business, 20% my team. And it has to be, because you need to keep on growing. If you bank on those people that say they want it, and they're not doing anything, and you invest all this time into them, then you're left not moving because you're not going to be doing it. So what happened to me last year, my one star at Summit was my husband. and I needed to start working with those that wanted it, but also to bring on new coaches, right? I needed to, and so that's what I focused on. I'm like, I need to run rockin' challenge groups, and that's what you guys need to do, and just bring on some new coaches. And I'm gonna give you a little tip of what I